I really want to do some Twin Peaks before we go. I think Twin Peaks and what David Lynch and Mark Frost did is really tell us a lot about the way the world works, the way and the way the mind works. What is up with Twin Peaks, and why do you think it's so important? Why should people watch it?
Real briefly, I'll give my 2-minute background on this. When I started the blog in 2011, there was one request people kept telling me, you got to watch Twin Peaks. I've heard it for years. And, going back to 2011, I tried watching it. It was on Netflix, I think, at the time. And I made it like halfway through the pilot, and I was just like, this seems so boring. I don't get it. It's like a murder mystery. Who cares? It's like a soap opera. Right. And I tried multiple times because people kept telling me, watch this show. Mm-hmm. And countless times I tried. And then a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I got really sick, and I was just down and out for months because I had this sinus infection that wouldn't go away, and I watched everything, and I was like, let me try this Twin Peaks again. I don't know, why not? And I watched it, and I struggled through it. I had a lot of ups and downs, but I made it all the way through. I watched the first 2 seasons. Then it was when I watched Fire Walk with Me that I was like, oh, dude, this is sick.
It's a little different.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's a little different than the TV show.
What's that?
It's a little different than the TV show.
Yeah, it was intense. I was like, bro, like Laura Palmer's doing coke and got her boobs out. What is happening?
That's crazy.
And because it's just such a bizarre experience, the whole Twin Peaks thing. And then I watched season 3, and even season 3, I was like, I don't know if I like this show. And I got done with it, and I thought, I didn't even understand it. I got done with season 3, and like looking back on it, my first roll through, I was like, dude, I missed the whole point of season 3 while watching it the first time.
Right.
And I thought, well, should I do a show about this? And I thought, I'd have to watch 52 hours of Twin Peaks again. And there's books. And I was just like, I don't know if I care to do it again. But so I go back to like my routine of watching like horror movies and sci-fi, whatever.
Right.
But everything in the back of my mind, it just kept calling me. It's like everything I'd watch, I'd be like, this is not intriguing enough. All the voices call me back to Twin Peaks. So I fully am a victim of the subconscious programming of what it does to you. And I'm gonna talk spoiler free because I'm walking through through every component of Twin Peaks on my Patreon right now, and they're only on season 3. No, I'm sorry. They just finished Fire Walk with Me, so I can't talk about like where things end up. But my theory that I'm building as we do this, because I still don't know the answer of what Twin Peaks is all about. I still struggle to be like, well, how many hours do you have? As you probably know.
You need a lot. My
one idea is that I will float out there. David Lynch, obviously into transcendental meditation. He understands, if you watch his videos explaining why he does TM, he understands, and I've done enough, I won't self-incriminate, but I've done enough things in my life that I fully understand what it's like to go into certain states of dissociation and things.
Same here.
And he's able to dissociate and go down into what he calls the unified field. And this is where I think this ties into Carl Jung and all these other folks. And he's able to sort of detect, retrieve, and display symbols, archetypes, and certain messaging that speaks to all of us on a subconscious level. Now, that's one element of this. The other element is Mark Frost, who I always say is kind of like the unacknowledged genius of this whole thing, because he studied all the occult concepts in these books. And I kind of walk through its countless examples. King Arthur's a major element of his mythology telling here.
Right.
But Mark Frost being the occult sort of mastermind of this, combined with David Lynch talking to the subconscious, it affects us on a level that that other shows and movies have never even come close to. And as I'm assuming you're a huge fan, I'm guessing, right?
It's my favorite show, other than The Leftovers, but there would be no Leftovers without David Lynch's Twin Peaks. People should watch Leftovers. If you haven't seen it, I think it's the best show. That to me is the best show, but there'd be no Leftovers without Twin Peaks. Okay. And speaking of like black and white checkered floors, there's a place called the Black Lodge for those in Twin Peaks that I don't know. It's very interesting. I think that could represent lots of things. I think it could mean Lynch going into the recesses of his consciousness, or it's saying a lot about the hidden people running the world and what they're doing behind the scenes. And it says a lot about Hollywood too. But to me, I think episode 8 of season 3, The Return, is all the answers to the world. A lot of them in terms of what happened with electricity, warfare, consciousness, behind the scenes, UFOs perhaps, it's in that episode. And plus there's 9 Inch Nails. And so how could you go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 9 Inch Nails are in it. Yeah, that season 3 episode 8 is like one of the most mind-blowing experiences. That was another part that sort of sunk into me that I was like, I've got to revisit this.
So good.
And when you read The Secret History of Twin Peaks, it further confirms a lot of the occult background. But I'm on season 3, episode 6 right now of working my analysis out. And when I get to episode 8, we're going to talk about Kenneth Grant, who is a prominent magician. He was, of course, working in tandem with Aleister Crowley. And his whole thing, he started what they call the Typhonian Ordo Templi Orientis, and his whole thing was making contact with entities. And
speaking of
his
Crowley,
book, Outside the Circles of Time, is where they got this idea. I think, I don't know, is where I think they got this idea, because he was talking about the Trinity site and the atomic bomb ripping open a portal and allowing sort of entities to come through. And this was, written many, many years ago. So yeah, and I'm going to deep dive into that because it's super important to the scope of everything going on.
And I know we got to go soon, but I heard you say this on a show, and I think it's such a great detail I'd never even picked up. And I've watched Twin Peaks 3 times, but you're talking about episode 8, this atom bomb thing, ripping open a portal between this world and the next world. You noticed when there's a very important phone call made in episode 1, I believe, or 2, that the camera pans oddly to the landline, the cord that connects the phone to the wall and stuff. And I think it might be a weird detail to some, and maybe it's a little too abstract for those who aren't used to watching shows like that. But that right there is a detail I think that was used on purpose. Like you're saying, it's signaling something to the audience. Hey, there's something in the walls, perhaps the electricity, there's something going on, which the evolved form of that would be the atom bomb many years ago. But years later in The Return of Twin Peaks. So, but dude, I know you got to run. Before you go, let people know exactly where they can find you online. There's so much you've got out there that people should be reading and listening to.
Oh, thanks. And thank you for having me back on. I appreciate this a ton.
Yeah, of course.
You can, if you listen to podcasts, my podcast is Occult Symbolism and Pop Culture on everything, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. I've got a YouTube channel, but I lightly maintain it. I only upload some videos there. It's a whole hassle for me. But if you go to allmylinks.com/Isaac W, you can find links to my podcasts, my YouTube channel. My books are all on Amazon under Isaac Weishaupt. They're also on Audible. I self-narrated 8 of the 9. And then I'm on Instagram at Isaac Weishaupt. But you can find all the links at allmylinks.com/Isaac W. Or if you go to IlluminatiWatcher.com, go to the Start Here tab, or go to I think it says free book. You can sign up for my free email newsletter. I will send you my first book for free. Lots of options. Awesome. You can find all those at allmylinks.com/Isaac W.
And we'll make sure to have that in the link. But we'll link it below for people to find you. Dude, thank you so much. We have to do this again.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to stay in touch with you for sure.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Take
See you later,
care, Isaac.
Have you ever watched Twin Peaks?
I've tried.
I heard you laughing over there when he was saying it was hard to get through. I'm like, so Alex must not like Twin Peaks.
It's so hard to get through. We definitely tried, and we're like, absolutely not.
Oh man, it's the best.
I
it's
think
so good.
David Lynch requires many viewings with all his work, honestly.
Yeah, that's why it's so good. Because also, I mean, we could talk about Mulholland Drive. I think Mulholland Drive is one of my favorite movies. Obviously, that's by Lynch.
Yeah,
and that Empire. Is like a not throwaway, but it's an offshoot of what he would have written for Twin Peaks if Twin Peaks wasn't taken off the air.
Yeah.
And that's way between Twin Peaks going off the air and then The Return, which happened on Showtime in 2017.
Yeah.
But so you haven't gotten all the way through Twin Peaks?
No.
You don't know who killed Laura Palmer?
No.
Wow. Well, to me, I'm going to spoil it. No, imagine if I just spoil everything now. No, but when you do find out about the killer, and you find out about what's been going on with the killer, how they've been getting away with it. It says a lot to me. Like, I'm like, that's what America does to people right now, because there's a lot of use of pharmaceuticals. And it's fascinating. And then with episode 8 and what I was talking about in that 3rd season, Lynch calls it The Return. It's 18 hours. He calls it an 18-hour movie. So if you're not already a fan of something like a Lynch scenario, might not be the best. I love season 3. It's my favorite of all of the seasons. But yeah, that episode 8 is interesting because and people probably hate it though, but
I feel like I'm gonna be like, all right, let's just put it
there's
on. Yeah, so I'm like, why am I?
There's a
doing
very
this?
long scene of an atom bomb exploding, and it could be excruciating for some. I've rewatched it a lot. I gravitate
You just
towards
watch it
that.
on 2-speed.
I'll make it even slower. 0.5. Slow this down. It's too fast, Lynch. But I love it. I think he's tapping into something. I don't know. I don't know if people say he's like a bad person or, his art is weird. I think his
art is definitely a little weird.
Certainly weird. I mean, anyone who's watched Eraserhead,
you're
like, what is this guy on? And they're hard because there's no answers. A lot of people want answers from stuff. I don't care about answers, especially from art.
This guy, it's a dream. It's
just a dream.
Just watch it.
It's like a poem. Well, he says he was a painter in the beginning, right? And then when he realized that his idea of a movie was his words. It's a moving painting.
Yeah.
So all these things are just paintings that move. I don't know if that helps anyone watch it or not.
Yeah.
I think there are deeper meanings that he put there you can find in it, but I don't think he should answer those, and I don't think you should care, honestly.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different interpretation. I'm sure we could bring in 10 different guests, have them all talk about Twin Peaks from different backgrounds, and they all have totally different interpretations. That's why I like it, and I encourage people to watch it. And the books are interesting too. Mark Frost, who's the co-writer and co-creator of Twin Peaks, no one talks about as much, because he's not Lynch.
Right.
But
Lynch has been in the news though a lot.
Yeah, poor Lynch. He's afraid of COVID.
Can't get it. Well, he's emphysema.
He smoked too many cigarettes.
Well.
He smoked so many cigarettes, and now he's got emphysema, and he's afraid to leave his house, and he wants to direct remotely, which I think is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's so sad, because I do consider him one of my favorite artists ever. I really love his stuff, always. I return to Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive a lot, and that season 3 of Twin Peaks. Honestly, Inland Empire is unwatchable, but it's amazing at the same time. It's a crazy collage of things happening. But I do love his stuff, and it was very unfortunate to see that he had also had his brain completely abducted by the cult, and now he's afraid to go outside. But he's sick. I get it. It is what it is. Maybe since he doesn't leave his house, we can get him here on Zoom.
Oh, that'd be cool. I don't know. Would it be cool? I have to put like my tinfoil hat on. And...
Yeah, you might have to be careful. Who knows what he'll bring in?
Yeah.
But well, that was fun.
Yeah. But he doesn't he make TikToks? I think too. Like every once in a while, a video of him pops up.
I don't know if it's him. I wonder if it's him. He does. He did during during COVID. I think it started during COVID. Maybe it was before, but he was doing weather reports.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I think that was on his YouTube channel. He also has an album that I think is out now. At least a few songs are.
Weather reports.
He's just wearing sunglasses and looking at the sun through his window. I don't know if they were accurate or not.
Yeah.
But he's something else. And he still paints. So yeah, I don't know. I would love to see him leave his apartment and make more, because I would love to see more Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Not because I seek answers, but I just like watching that story unfold. For those watching, if you go back and look at Isaac, he did have Dale Cooper behind him, who's the main character, Special Agent Cooper, with the guy with the mug. This is damn fine coffee. Yeah. He would say, I love that show so much. But anything crazy happening with you in your life? Anything weird? Are you safe? Are your drives home? Are they okay?
Yeah, they're okay.
Animals keep trying to hit me.
I definitely hit a bird after one of these shows. I didn't want to text you because I was like, there's already too much bad crap happening.
When was it? Do you remember how long ago?
It was like 4 episodes. I don't know. It was like maybe before my trip, before I left. It was like the last one or something. I hit a bird. Wow. And I almost turned around to go see what happened. But you leave here. It's windy roads.
It wasn't a bird. It was probably like some kind
bad sign.
Something that morphed into what looked like a bird. but wanted you to go back. You can't trust those things.
It's really
I've had cats and raccoons and possums and deer
I've
trying to get hit
deer.
on my way home on these long, windy roads. 'Cause for those who don't know, we travel through the dark forest to get here.
over what is it, over the river and through the woods?
Yeah. Through the portals.
Through the portals.
to get here to this like crazed, depraved house.
I know.
Which is nice to be here in the daylight today doing the pre-record. But
you walk into it's like Willy Wonka. You're like, we're too tall. The room's so small. There's doors you can't open.
oh man, it's amazing. So all right, well that was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I might have to revisit the Da Vinci Code again. I liked it when I read it. That Angels and Demons, was it? Is that what the second one was called?
I didn't read the books, but that was the movies with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. But the book I remember liking the book.
Illuminati King Tom Hanks.
I know.
I think
What's
the large
with the gloves.
What's with the gloves?
With Tom Hanks, the gloves and the socks and like the kids stuff. You don't hear about this conspiracy? No. Oh God.
What is it?
I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but like Tom Hanks will post like he'll just post a picture of a random glove or like a random sock and it's supposedly connected to
that's weird. Some trafficking.
Yeah. I don't
really?
know say that.
Well, I don't trust Tom Hanks at all. But I do remember when I first heard about, maybe it was a year before the Da Vinci Code movie came out that had the Large Hadron Collider in it. Leading up to that year, I guess it was, I had been obsessed. This is probably 2007, 8-ish. I could be wrong with the time. I don't know when that movie came out. It was around that time. And I'm telling all my friends, we should be worried about this thing. It's gonna like rip a hole in space-time. They're just testing out and like, no. It's gonna cause like serious damage to reality. And then at the time,
it did.
Yeah, well, obviously, here we are. At the time, I was managing a tattoo shop. My buddy Adam, who owned it, he was the guy I'm telling about. I'm like up front running the shop, but reading about the Large Hadron Collider and the lawsuit against it, and there were physicists suing it because they were afraid about the black holes it was going to create. He's just laughing at me like, this is just ridiculous. What is this guy going on about? Him and I go to see that whatever Da Vinci Code movie it was that had the Large Hadron Collider in it. And the second he looked at me, he was like, holy shit. What have you been doing? I'm like, I told you, dude. I mean, look, Tom Hanks is telling you.
Wasn't Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, weren't they the first celebrities to come out with COVID?
Yes. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I don't think we should trust him at all. I don't like him one bit. I don't trust his face or anything about it. But
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want anyone coming for me.
Oh, please. They're already sending the animals after you on the way home. Next is Tom Hanks.
It's not really a bird. It's
Tom Hanks galloping across the road. I would drive very fast. Leave it.
Oh my God.
On that note,
I'm not leaving. I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah, we're just going to stay here until the next episode. You can find me online at Shane Cashman. Send me your stories. Send me your ideas if you want to call in. Obviously, we didn't do that today because there's a pre-recording during the day. I'm just trying to give you guys something while I'm away for a week or two. But you can send me stories to shanecashman@scanner.com, SCNR.com. Hit me up. Alex, where can they find you?
I am Alex Ayala on X sometimes.
Sometimes. Occasionally we'll see her.
Occasionally.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.